Fisher. Back again on a Thursday, so a short day. Just getting a little bit late start because I had to get gas. But I've already got a order that I need to take. So, and what you know what, the road's all blocked up, going both directions. So, let's see if we can kind of squeeze out here and not get the front of the car taken out. I know trucks people are waving me through. So, we stopped at the gas station, turned on the DoorDash and got us some nacho cheese Doritos. You might recognize from a top 5 list we did a few days ago. And a Mountain Dew with a new design, it looks like, or one I haven't seen because I don't buy cans very often. But anyway, so, and then we're headed to go grab some McDonald's. So last night I opted not to decline anything, even a $2 order. And that $2 order ended up giving me a $3 tip, so it turned it into a $5 order. And granted, that was probably my lowest delivery total all night. I still broke the $100 that my goal was, and so yeah, it turned out to be a good day yesterday, even though it was nowhere close to the $60 or $20 per hour. But we broke the $100. We got within a dollar of being on pace back for the week, because we didn't reach our goals on Monday or Tuesday, but we did last night and made up for it. So yeah. So that's where we're at. We'll come up with a random top 5 tonight. We will potentially, I don't know, last night we kind of skipped the personal finance chat, but we'll look if I think of anything, we'll discuss that, or just anything else that goes along. Also tonight is the NFL draft, first round, so we may keep apprised of that. I don't know what time it starts, but we'll take a look at it at some point. I know the one team I'm concerned with is the Steelers, and they draft 21st. There's some chatter with them trying to move up to 12th to take Shakir Sanders from Colorado, Deion Sanders' son, and I'm not a big fan of his, or Deion for that matter, just because of, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes people's mouths get in the way of them doing good things, or their attitude gets in the way of the team. So if they do get him, I just hope he comes in humbly and with the number one and only goal is not for himself, but for the team as a whole. That's the hope anyway. Rumor has it that we're going to be losing a great wide receiver, but he has an attitude that he puts himself ahead of the team. He doesn't go out, he quits on plays and stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of stuff. So anyway, alright, so let me turn that speaker off on that. Wonder, flags are at half-mast here, and I just have to guess that it's because of the Pope. I don't know that for 100% certainty, but I don't know of anybody else that has passed away, so most likely that's it. Alright guys, I'm at this McDonald's. I'm gonna park on the back side and run in, but I will catch up with you guys in just a second. Alright guys, we got everything packaged up, right, ready to rock and roll. This one is headed back towards Rant, which is a rarity for this particular McDonald's. Usually it's going towards Little Rock. Come on, people. Come on. So this one is 10 minutes away, but back towards where I want to deliver to. So, not that bad. I wonder if anyone around here knows when, you gotta be from here, if you know when they changed County Line Road to be Alexander Road. Because I still call it County Line Road, and I never see it on a map. And whenever I see it on GPS, I'm like, I don't know what that road is. So now I looked purposely. It's called Alexander Road. Because if you go across the freeway, and really this whole area is called Alexander, is because they keep, I don't know if they do, but Alexander is in the quote-unquote city limits of Alexander. And it runs way back to the north, over on the other side of the freeway. But it's like a city that will never grow into anything. I don't know what the deal is or how they got to be called Alexander. But or how they acquired all this land. That is interesting. What is today? Yeah, that's probably still early. There's nobody at the soccer fields. So before I started DoorDashing, I was out at the soccer fields almost every night, coaching the kids. It was always good times. I mean, it wasn't always good times, but at the end of the day, I was proud of what I was able to do. Whether we won or lost, trying to, just get kids out there and become teammates and stuff like that. It's not an easy task nowadays. Not an easy task. Yesterday, we did a top 5 of cuisines. So mine were I don't even remember what they were now. I really don't remember what number 5 was. Number 4 was Greek. Number 3 was Mexican. Number 2 was Southern. Number 1 was Italian. So I felt pretty good about those. I can't remember what number 5 was. Oh, it was Japanese. I don't really get Japanese very often where we live. Who built these neighborhoods out here. Basically, they had a big patch of land that was rectangular in shape, right? So they built the road straight in, then they turned to the left, then they turned to the right to go straight back some more, then they turned to the right, and it just basically zigzags up and down all the way to the very back. And the only way to get out is to come through all the whole freaking zigzags. And so instead of building 2 roads, 1 on each side with some middle roads that go across, they built it in such a way that it's like the only way to get in, the only way to get out is just zigzag all the way. I will never figure out how they do streets where they have sometimes they put 4 numbers between houses, sometimes they put 6, sometimes they just put 2. So this neighborhood is like 702, 704, 706, 708, you know. I don't know how they come up with that. So anyway, I'm gonna drop this food off. We'll be right back. Alright, so delivery complete. Let's take a look at the stats. $4.50 and a $2 tip. So, but we no longer have a 0 on there. So we're at $6.50 and moving on up. Lots of houses for sale out here. They're relatively small, like starter homes almost. Some of them have brick at least on 3 sides. Some of them only have brick on the front side. Some of them don't even have brick all the way across the front, so alright. So trying to think about who or what my top 5 is going to be today. You know, it's totally random. I don't have a clue from day to day what I might pick my top 5 to be, and it is kind of hard to come up with a list of my top 5. But well, how do I want to handle this? If I want to do it something that's totally about me, totally about other things that, you know, it's a hard thing to say, hey, this is my top 5 and you can't, you know, like have, it's like there's no way to have a conversation about it. You know, granted, not that many people are watching my channel, so so I did post another short yesterday, I think it was, and I didn't get one edited for today. This one was the short from my second video that was about what was it about? It was about cash orders, and I don't even remember what it was about, but it started out slow and it's still going. It's steadily getting up, like it's steady. It's more steady instead of like getting all the views all at once, right? So a lot of times it's like if you're getting a lot of views, you'll get them all within a short amount of time. This one seems to be a slow roller, a slow burn. But yeah, I looked at it today and it had like 219 views. So, you know, not. It was probably maybe my third best one out of the week or two of shorts that I've been put out there. Two of them have hit over 1,100. One of them just like bolted up there really quick. Well, it bolted up to like 500 and then it sat for a few hours. Then it shot off again and jumped up over 1,000. And then I don't know what happened with this other one. It's been out there for 2 or 3 days. And then all of a sudden people started watching it and it was like boom, 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 boom. So I don't know what happened there, but it was interesting that happened. So I don't know. Again, we're just kind of playing with it, seeing if we get anything. I think I'm up to 6 subscribers now, so you know, it's nice to see a little bit. And I promise you, maybe, well, I can't promise you anything. Maybe at least half of those aren't me and people I know. So I got at least maybe 3 subscribers that aren't me and my kids or something, right? I'm pretty sure my son hasn't subscribed to me, so maybe it's just me and my daughter. I don't know. But it's definitely something fun to play around with. Like I said, I treat it like a hobby. So I'm gonna take this call. I'll be right back. Okay, so got off the phone, missed an order while I was on the phone, then got another $11 order, and for 2 stops. So I'm just gonna take the orders, make it another night like last night, and get as many as I can, get my AR up there. So I'm gonna run in here to pick this up. So I'll be back shortly. All right. So this is odd here. Where? Okay. So yeah, from Tropical Smoothie all the way down to the Alcoa exit to pick up at Slim Chicken. I don't know. I don't know if both of these are delivering to the same place. It would be nice if they were. I just don't know. I guess I could check. Oh yeah, they do. Well, good. Okay, so now I'm headed to Slim Chicken. Alright, so let me think about this. could do something sports related today. We could do something food related. We could do something. I was trying to think of something earlier. I was thinking of something and I forgot about it. Oh no. Maybe we should let the internet choose. Somebody posted on my Facebook. So I shared an image that says, I just posted a picture of the meme that I use when I go to restaurants sometimes, and I primarily use this with men, and another one with women. I don't know that it makes a difference, but I find that the women really laugh more or get tickled at the one with a Friends meme that I use, and men probably more so with the Office one. So this is seemingly a woman that commented on here, and I wrote on there, "Would you send this to your customer?" And it just is it's a picture. It's a well-known image from the Office with Jim looking through the lines into the little conference room, right? And it says, "Watching the restaurant prepare your order like." And yeah, it's pretty funny and get a lot of chuckles from that. Occasionally I would just get additional tips from using it. So this person just goes, yes I would, and put a little laugh face on there. So that's awesome. But anyway, so yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know what to do a top 5 list on today. Let's see what. Okay, Google. Choose a random top 5 list that I can talk about on my YouTube vlog, please.
Okay, here are 5 random top 5 list ideas that could be interesting for your YouTube blog.
Nope.
1. Top 5 unexpected uses for everyday household items. This list can explore creative and unconventional ways to use common items like baking soda, vinegar, coffee grounds, or dryer sheets.
Nope.
For example, you could showcase how baking soda can be used as a dry shampoo, or how vinegar can clean coffee makers. This type of content often resonates because it's practical and sparks curiosity. 2. Top 5 underrated travel destinations in the region near Bryant, Arkansas, e.g. Ozark Mountains. Instead of the usual tourist hotspots, focus on lesser-known gems. You could highlight natural beauty, unique local culture, or affordable travel experiences within a reasonable driving distance of Bryant. For instance, you might feature a specific hiking trail, a charming small town, or a unique historical site. 3. Top 5 comfort foods that can be made in under 30 minutes. This list caters to viewers looking for quick and satisfying meals. You could include recipes or ideas for dishes like grilled cheese variations, speedy pasta sauces, one-pan meals, or elevated instant ramen. This is a relatable topic for busy individuals. 4. Top 5 beginner-friendly indoor plants that are hard to kill. Many people are interested in adding greenery to their homes, but are intimidated by plant care. This list could feature resilient and low-maintenance options like snake plants, ZZ plants, pothos, spider plants, or peace lilies, along with basic care tips for each. 5. Top 5 nostalgic toys or games from the decade relevant to your likely audience, e.g., 1980s or 1990s. This type of list taps into viewers' sense of nostalgia and can generate engaging discussions in the comments. You could feature popular toys, video games, or board games from a specific era and share why they were so beloved. These are just starting points, of course. Feel free to tailor them to your specific interests and the likely interests of your audience. Good luck with your YouTube blog.
All right. Thank you, Gemini. You are the best. So yeah, that was a good filler, right? Filled in the time between the time I was like wondering what I was going to talk about and the time that I get to the restaurant. So now we're at the restaurant, or seemingly, if I would, if this endless stream of cars would stop. And there's an 18-wheeler blocking traffic, so I can get in. Good. Oh, okay. Now I have to park around the backside of Slim Chickens and head inside. Oh, okay. So maybe I might whip something out of there that I won't do recipes, or I can talk about the recipes, but maybe we'll do like top 5 things that I like to cook that are quick and easy, and most likely they all have the same ingredients, so we may look at that. So we'll see what happens when I get back. All right, so this one, yeah, 9 miles away, and I'm going the wrong direction here, but we'll get out. I really need to go out at this other exit anyway, because that road's all backed up. So 17 minutes away. Alright, so yeah, let's go with food. I did get this idea briefly from ChatGPT, so shout out to ChatGPT, or it's not even ChatGPT, it is Gemini. Sorry about that. Sorry, Gemini. I don't use ChatGPT on my phone, or if I do, it's rare. I do have it on my phone, but I can't say okay ChatGPT. Or if I can, I didn't know that I could. Alright, I gotta get in the other lane, people. So top 5 quick fix meals. And they all seemingly have about the same ingredients. So recently we decided to try out Hungry Root, which is one of those little meal prep kind of things. They don't send you the pre-cooked meals, they send you the ingredients and instructions on how to make the meals. So so we did it for like 4 weeks, and I came up with some interesting things that we can get at our local store that we don't have to have shipped in and pay $150 a week on. So instead we pay $150 every 2 weeks on similar things, but we don't get the variety, right? So I don't know what so I can tell you this, that I used to make just like get lunch meat and sliced cheese and make flour tortilla wraps out of that stuff, and I would make those all the time. But now I try not to get lunch meat as much. I haven't got any in a while. And I either get rotisserie chicken that's already been packaged up, or I get chicken breast and I season it and broil it, and then slice it up into, edible size, fork size edible pieces that I can either put onto a wrap or a flatbread or something else. So typically I may just rename this, but to be something along the lines of easy flatbread, I don't know what I'm trying to think of how many different things that I actually do make. Maybe I just make 2 or 3, so I don't know. But anyway, I'm trying to think. Let me think about some others. Oh, I can tell you. There's one. So I got that. I got that. I got that one. I got 4 different things. Let me think of one more that's pretty simple. Alright, so this one, I guess I'll throw in my one that I didn't learn from Hunger Group, but I personally love it because it's my go-to that I fix all the time, because I like it and it's easy to fix and it's good. So now I gotta rank them all, and we'll just go bottom, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let me figure out what that might be. So it looks like we're gonna have a bunch of bread type wrap things, and then one that's not. So, well, there's 2 that's not. Let's go with that. I'm gonna say my number 5 is, and I don't have names for these things, so I'm just gonna go with the pizza flatbread. So there's this flatbread that I found, that Hunger Root had a flatbread, and it was called Lavish. Well, I never heard of Lavish before. Well, it's just a flatbread that it's somewhat, I don't know, I would say it's got the I don't know if it's low carbs or not, but anyway, it's like 100 calories for a big piece of flatbread, right? And I found that they sell it at Walmart in 5 flatbreads per package. Perfect, right? So what we do with these flatbreads is we make we do a couple of things with them, and so a couple of things are on this list. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is just a simple pepperoni pizza flatbread. So that's my number 5, is a pepperoni pizza flatbread, and we just make it real simple. I get things that are trying to be a little bit more healthy. I get turkey pepperoni, which is not the best pepperoni, but it still tastes good. Okay, so turkey pepperoni, some Bartoli organic. It's got 3 ingredients. I think it's like maybe tomato, basil. I don't know. It's got 3 ingredients, and it's like organic tomato, basil, oregano, or maybe garlic, oregano, and basil, or something like that. Marinara type spaghetti sauce is basically what it is. So that one there is pretty good. To me, it's a little on the sweet side, but everybody else likes it, so I get it. And it has a little bit of chunk in there from the tomatoes. Other than that, it's pretty mild as far as the consistency of it. But yeah, spread that out on this flatbread and don't get too much or the flatbread will get soggy. And then you just spread out like 4 pepperoni across, and then maybe, I don't know what it, maybe 6 or 10 rows of it. Not 10, 5 or 6 rows of pepperoni, so you can get anywhere from 20 to 24 pepperonis on that flatbread. And then you cover it up with shredded mozzarella. And then so this is what I learned to do. So this person I'm delivering to, they're just like, ha 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 ha, love that. I don't know which one they're loving, but then it says thank you, so. I still got 7 minutes to go, and I'm on my first recipe. So you just take those things, and I cook it this way. So I heat the oven up, or I don't even finish preheating it, but I heat the oven up to 400 degrees. By the time I get all this stuff on these flatbreads, I put a piece of that aluminum foil that has the non-stick aluminum foil down in one of those big baking trays or whatever they're called. Preferably not the kind that warps when you heat up the oven. I got some crappy ones that we still use, but I just need to throw them out, even though they're brand new, because once you heat them up, it's like they just warp on you, and then when they cool down, they go back flat again. But I absolutely hate them. But anyway, so I got a big aluminum one that has taller sides on it, because I like that, because I don't want any of the olive oil and stuff that I use to drip out or whatever. Anyway, I just like those better. But anyway, so I put a sheet of that down, put a couple of those flatbreads inside of that, and then doctor them all up. And you can do this with whatever you want to put on your pizza, right? It just so happens it's quick and easy for us to do this. Throw it in there 400 degrees for like 8 to 10 minutes. See what it looks like at the end, and if it needs some finishing off, then hit the broil button and put it on a high broil for like 2 to 3 minutes, and you'll see a little char. If you see the edges of the flatbreads turning brown, then it's ready to come out, because you don't want to burn the bread. It'll burn faster than the cheese will. So, and then you just slide that over onto I've got a pizza stone. I slide each one of them over on the pizza stone and just cut them into rectangle squares or rectangles, and serve them up like that, and we're good to go. So that's my number 5 off of this quick and easy food meal list. It takes, I would not imagine it takes more than 12 minutes, maybe 14 minutes at the most, with the preheating the oven and all that. So, because while the oven's preheating, you're whipping these pizzas together and then throw them in the oven. It doesn't even have to be 100% up to 400 degrees before you throw them in. And just set it for 10 minutes, and then you might go a couple more minutes with the thing. So maybe 14 minutes max to cook these things. So yeah, we try to get the ingredients for those and probably have them like once a week, once every other week, just because it's quick and easy. And we might even have them more than that. Sometimes it's with the kids when the kids aren't there. You know, usually we don't eat dinner together at the house at nighttime unless the kids are there on short DoorDash nights, because that's when I go home and fix dinner and the kids are over there. But when the kids aren't over there, I usually am working DoorDash, so we usually fix something to eat at lunchtime, because we both work from home. during the day, so we can do that. And we usually fix something for lunch almost every day and sit down and have lunch together. So that's number 5. Number 4. Alright. So number 4 was meant... I don't know where I want to put this one at. So it's another type of... It's not a... Well, you can do it flatbread. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what one I want to do next. So I got the pizza flatbread. No, I may have forgotten about... Oh, no, I forgot. I know what it is. Okay, so, I'm good with this. Number 4 is going to be a coconut curry chicken. And we'll say coconut curry chicken rice bowl. How about that? So, depends on what we're doing. If for me, I'm trying to cut back on the carbs, so I may throw in some riced cauliflower, or I'm just like, screw it, I'm gonna eat regular rice, or at least get brown rice, brown and wild rice, or something like that. But yeah, I like both of those things. All right, I am at this house, so I'm gonna get back to number 4. Wow, this is a big old house out in the middle of nowhere. Yep, that's the right address. And I gotta get around to the... Okay, so I'm gonna pause this. We'll get back to my number 4, and I just have to remember what it is, so don't let me forget. So I will be right back. Alright, so they'll drop those off. DoorDash pay was $6.50. Even though it's from the same person, the Slim Chicken was $2 tip, and the Tropical Smoothie was a $2.50 tip. So total of $11. So puts us up to $17.50, and today's a short day, so we're searching for that. The goal of $50. And I got roughly 2 hours left. I need to finish up a little before then and get a little over the $50 would be nice. And I wasn't paying any attention on where I am. I was just following the GPS, so I think I know where I remember where I'm at. I just gotta go in that direction. Alright, so back to number 4 on my top 5 quick fix dinners. So number 4 is it's gonna be I'm gonna say it's a chicken coconut curry rice bowl, let's say that. So this is what I do when I fix it. So I get you can either use rotisserie chicken or some pre-cooked like I do, whether you do grilled chicken or broiled chicken, whatever. Pre-cooked seasoned chicken. It doesn't have to be seasoned even, because immerse it in some curry sauce. But anyway, cook it with some salt and pepper, chop it up into bite-sized pieces, and then you're good to go. So this is how I do it, right? So I've already got the chicken pre-cooked. I kind of and I've got it diced up into some smaller pieces. So I do that. So typically I will have one bag of frozen mushrooms because they don't go bad because they're frozen. Now what I found with these frozen mushrooms is they have absorbed lots of water, and so whenever you throw them in there to saute them, they will come out all watery, so you have to drain the water off, and then just keep sauteing them until the water gets to where it's gone and they're nice and sauteed, right? And I just do them in a little bit of olive oil. When they get about done, I will throw in a bag of the long string, like what you would get at an Asian restaurant, green beans, and you can get those in the freezer section as well. So I just throw in, I think there's a green giants, I don't know if they're green giant, something, those steamable, bird's eye steamable ones, yeah. So I just open up and throw a bag of those in and saute those until they get good and warm. You don't want them to be soggy and all that. You want them to still be kind of firm. And once they get warm, the mushrooms are sauteed real good, then you'll throw in the chicken and heat it up nice and warm. And all of this is just done with a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of a skillet. I like using a tall-sided skillet because I don't want stuff to flip out in those little small skillets. So I get, basically it's a big pan. And I just use it as my skillet. But anyway, so once that's cooked, and then we've started getting this sauce that it's at Walmart called Kevin's. So it's a brand name named Kevin's. That's all I know. But this is a coconut curry sauce, and it comes in a pouch. So you just cut the corner off and squeeze all of that sauce, and it looks disgusting, like something that might come out of a baby's rear end. But you know, it is what it is. It's coconut curry, right? So you squeeze all the coconut curry into there, and then you just cook it until everything's coated. So everything's well coated. And I'm going to tell you, you could probably get four, it depends on how much you eat. We've eaten the whole thing with just 2 people, or we've made it go with 4 people. So if you're going to put 4 people, you want to put more chicken in there. And then you just get less veggies or less green beans and mushrooms per person. Or if you're going to eat it all with just 2 people, then you're going to eat a lot of green beans, and the mushrooms kind of shrink down. You don't even notice them. But so I'll either put, like, if it's 2 people, I'll put about 6 ounces of chicken in there. If it's 4 people, we'll double that up and just make sure everybody, because the sauce, it coats everything. Obviously with less chicken, it's a little bit more saucy than there is with more chicken. And then we do the simplest thing. You can do it however you want to. Either get some cauliflower rice and cook it in the bag in the microwave, or get some of those minute rices in the one size cups, or just fix a pot of rice. So obviously cooking a pot of rice takes longer. If you have one of those rice cookers, it doesn't take that long, but you can do all that while you're cooking the rest of the stuff. But we just do those minute rices and throw them in the microwave, and that same thing. If I'm probably the only one that's going to eat the cauliflower rice. But anyway, however you do that, that is one tasty meal. It's very low in calories, very low. If you go with cauliflower, it's very low in carbs. And it's not that bad even with regular, either white rice, brown rice, wild rice, whatever you put. It's all good. But that's, I don't know how long that takes. Maybe like 20 to 30 minutes max. If you've already cooked the chicken, you know, you don't have to, like I get a big package of chicken and it has 4 huge chicken breasts in there, and I cooked it all yesterday, one of the packages, and I just sliced those chicken breasts in half because they're really thick, and if you try to broil them that thick, they turn out to be a bit hard on the outside and maybe not as cooked on the middle. So that's where I struggle trying to get the chicken up to that 160-ish, because I'm kind of don't want to get salmonella. But anyway, so it's still good night. There's a bunch of garbage on here. Okay, so that would be my number 4, is coconut curry chicken rice bowl. How about that? I just made the name up, so I don't remember what it was on Hunger Root, but very similar thing that we found on Hunger Root. They just sent us the ingredients, and truthfully, Hunger Root did not include the rice. Trade back. Saying. I guess maybe the draft may have started. I don't know. I'm getting text from my brother and my nephew. So, but anyway, so Hungry Root sent us the recipe with no rice, and we're like, we probably want some rice with this, so we added the rice part. So that's quick and easy. One pan, cooking everything in it. For the most part, quick and easy. And you can use that rotisserie chicken that's already been cooked. If you were just going to get a rotisserie chicken that's pre-cut off of the chicken from Walmart, they sell it in 1 pound packages. So you don't even have to cook the chicken if you don't want to, if you buy the pre-cooked ones. And that stuff is good. It's good. So that is number 4. Number 3. Where do I want to rank number 3? Number 3, I'm gonna go with. Surprisingly, I'm gonna move this one up to, I think, number 2. The one that I was thinking was going to be 3, but number 3 is going to be a really simple chicken. Well, it's a little bit more. So, first of all, you get chicken, whether it's shredded chicken, rotisserie chicken, or you slice up some chicken that you cooked yourself. And we're just going to make it, let's say, we're going to make it on this flatbread. So we get the lavish bread, and so we need a lavish bread. I personally like it with Ray's garlic parm sauce. I found it to be very good, and it mimicked a Hungry Root sauce that they sent. And truthfully, Hungry Root did not send this. Hungry Root sent a honey mustard for this particular meal. And I'm not a big honey mustard fan. I ate it, but then I switched mine over to the to this garlic parm sauce by Ray's. My girlfriend loves the honey mustard, so she still eats this with the honey mustard. I found that you can get a bag of what's called Super Blend salad mix from Walmart, and it's really kind of like some hardier kind of leafy veggies they're not good to eat. I'm just telling you. So it has like some shredded chunks of Brussels sprouts and kale and maybe some I don't know what all's in there, but it's called Super Blend because it's really supposed to be really good for you. I wouldn't eat it by itself, and but what I have found is that if you throw it in a hot skillet with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and you throw this salad mix called Super Blend into the skillet and you saute it until it, not till it just wilts all the way down to nothing, but till it kind of breaks down some, about maybe more than half of its original size. But you take that, and we find that we can do with one bag of the size from Walmart and throw the whole thing in there, and then it all cooks down, and we take that and we put whatever sauce we're going to put on half of that lavish bread, right, on one side of it, kind of coat it pretty good, and then you put this and then you can layer it with some chicken. So that's what I would do, is I would put the sauce down first, then I would put the chicken down, or you can put the chicken down first and sprinkle, like squeeze the sauce out on top of the chicken. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then take that cooked Super Blend and put it all over on that half, and then you take the other half of the lavish bread, fold it over to make one big rectangle sandwich, right? And then you put it on your panini press. We have a panini grill. It has the stripes on it, like grill marks. And we put it on there probably when it's heated up really good. So you'll start preheating that thing a couple minutes before you're ready to use it. And at that point, you probably want to I set my timer for 2 minutes and let it go. And then usually I'll throw in an extra minute. But heat that up, slide it off of that panini press into a plate, and you can either use a fork and a knife to cut it up, or you just pick it up and eat it. To me, that thing right there is really, really, really good. And that is, I don't know what to call that thing, but it's basically just it's more like a sandwich, a chicken, mine is chicken garlic parm sandwich with Super Blend on a flatbread. So whatever, I don't know what to call it. Okay, I got an Applebee's order. I haven't had an Applebee's in months, and now I got one last night and one today. 3.6 miles for $7. And I'm on the road to Applebee's right here. So the negative part about this is it'll probably take a good 10 minutes for them to make it. But it's alright. It'll be okay. So that is my number 3. I can promise you you can cook it quicker than the story I just told about cooking it. And I was really taken aback as to how good that Super Blend stuff is when you put some garlic parm or honey mustard. It was good. I had it with honey mustard. And you put it on that flatbread with the chicken. I'm just like, that stuff is good. But yeah, I would not eat it without sauteing it first, with some salt and pepper on there. That just makes it for whatever reason. Alright, so we'll come back with number 2 and number 1 after we get back from picking up at Applebee's. Alright guys, let's see, 7 minutes, 2.8 miles away. Looks like we're going down the freeway, cross over, and then back down the freeway some more. Alright, let's sneak out this way. Alright, people, don't run me over. There's some people with some Ontario tags. I'm just gonna tell you, you're making a mistake by stopping at this Applebee's. Oh, it's kind of run down in there. Kind of run down. It needs a makeover. And somebody needs to pick up all the cigarette butts that are littered out on the outside of that back door, which are probably all from the employees. Oh, that's kind of sad. Oh well. Sorry, I've been blowing the air conditioner in your ear the whole time. Hadn't even thought a thing about it, so I just turned it down a little bit. We have a steady stream of people coming down the freeway at like 70 miles an hour on the access road. I am just a little bit scared of jumping out there with this little Honda Fit. Alright. 6 minutes. Alright, let's get this ordered. I don't know I forget how much I thought that I said the order was worth. I don't remember how much money I've made, $17 and something, so this will put me up at around 23. I think today might be a tough day to get the 50 by 7 o'clock anyway, by dinner time. So anyway, we're gonna keep trying. I got an hour and 15 minutes to try to do it, and maybe something will pop. Something will pop. Alright, so back to my top 5 list. So number 5 was a pepperoni pizza flatbread. Number 4 was a... What was number 4? The coconut curry chicken rice bowl. The number 3 was another flatbread with I like, you could either do garlic parm sauce or a honey mustard with chicken and some sauteed super blend salad and a folded over lavish bread thrown on a panini grill, and until that panini bread gets toasted a bit in the panini press. So really good. Oh, and I forgot about it. You gotta throw on some I don't know, we do Parmesan. What do? We do Colby Jack. Some shredded Colby Jack cheese on top of that chicken or something in there, and then you put it in that press, and it melts that cheese, toasts the bread, boom, it's freaking delicious. So yes. Now on to number 2. So number 2 for me is in essence it's just a chicken quesadilla. Okay, I get these Mission Carb Balance whole wheat tortillas. They are 60 calories a piece, relatively low carbs compared to some of the other ones. They don't taste the best, but they don't. Once you put all the stuff on there and you put them in the panini and toast it up, it's pretty good. I'll say that. I don't have a problem with it. Everybody at my house eats them, and no one's complained about them. I weigh the heavy ones with the light ones, and compare the difference, but they're totally edible and good, so you shouldn't have a problem. But anyway, that's the whole wheat carb balance ones. For Mission, they're 60 calories. These are, I don't know what size I don't know why they make a taco size one, they make a fajita size one, they make a burrito size one. This is the 60 calorie one, and I don't know which one it is. I think it might be a taco size one, or it might be a burrito, or not a burrito, but a fajita size one. I don't know which is which. But anyway, so all we do, and I've done this with two things. You can switch out, or you can do it with or without, but you can take some black beans and you can heat those up, or they'll just heat up in the pan, right? Oh, I gotta go this way. Why is this so crowded right now? So you're only gonna take a tortilla and you're gonna make it to where you only fill up one half of it, so you can flop the other half over, right? So you can put some black beans down on the bottom if you want to. You can kind of smash them in a little bit with a fork or something, or you don't have to. On top of that, you put on a little bit of you put chicken on top of that, and then you throw on some cheddar cheese. We always use Colby Jack almost for everything, so shredded Colby Jack for these things. So some black beans, some chicken. So I get at Walmart, they have fajita seasoned chicken, rotisserie chicken. I like that, or we use the regular one, or I use this other chicken that I cooked that was chicken breast. Either way, it's all good. It's chicken, right? So put in some of that chicken and you should be good to go. You put the cheese over that, and well, before you put the cheese on it, I'm gonna tell you a secret here. You can do this either inside or you can do it outside after you get it off the panini. Probably makes less mess if you do it afterwards, but either way, it's great. So I sprinkle this tomatillo salsa verde sauce on top of that chicken, and then put the cheese on top of that and let that kind of melt in there, and then put it on the panini for like 2 to 3 minutes, and let that thing, and I can fit 2 of those on a panini press at the same time. I don't know what that means to you, but that's what I do. So basically you fold that over, make it look like a quesadilla, pop it on there, then you can slide them off, and typically we're too lazy to cut them up, but you can slide them over onto a cutting sheet or something and get you a big knife out and slice them into quarters, or not wedges, how about that, triangles, or whatever you would do with a quesadilla. And then you can either dip it into some salsa or just put salsa across the top, and either eat them. You might get your fingers messy that way. Eat them with a fork or whatever. But put some, I don't know. We just get some cheap paste pecani sauce and do it that way because it's easy. So that one there probably takes about 10 minutes to make those. So nice and easy. That is my number 2, is just basically chicken quesadillas. Really tasty, really good. I have found, well, really Hunger Root got me started on this tomatillo, creamy tomatillo sauce. Theirs was so freaking spicy, but I couldn't stop eating it. So I've tried 3 different versions. I'm on my 3rd one that I found at different flavors at Walmart. The first one I did not like at all, and I can't remember the brand. But the second one is kind of like a Walmart brand called Better Goods, maybe. And that creamy tomatillo salsa verde or whatever is really tasty. It's not spicy. It might have a little bit of kick to it, but really good, really creamy. I think it might have avocados in there to kind of make the creaminess, but it's really good. I got another one. Oh, the first one was dang it, I can't remember the brand name. It was some brand name that seems like it has a Hispanic woman on there dancing or something. I can't think of the name of it, but the one that I'm eating right now is called Herdez. It's not creamy. It's edible when you get it in there with the chicken, but if you just want to dip a chip into it, it's like, I'm not eating that stuff. But anyway, alright, I'm going to deliver this food. We'll come back, figure out what our number 1 is, and we'll walk through the recipe there. So, be right back. Alright, so that was $7, $3 DoorDash, and $4 tip. So, thank you guys, appreciate it. And that puts us at, it looks like about $24.50 after 2 full hours. Oh, that's $12 an hour, yes. So, alright, so I'm gonna figure out how to get over to downtown Benton. From here. Try not to run over a slow pedestrian in the crosswalk. I think I can go straight to get there, maybe. Okay, so I'm not even going to try to go through 5 through 2 to get back to my list here because I can't remember all the stuff. So, but now I'm at number 1, I'm sorry, in our top 5 fast and easy things that I fix at the house for quick easy meals. So this one here for me has been a staple for me ever since I can remember. I don't know. I can remember in my 20s when I first moved out, I used to go get like jars of like, what would I get? Some kind of jar of spaghetti sauce. I wouldn't get Ragu. It was the other brand that to me was better. But somewhere along the way, I realized that I just do not like sweet spaghetti sauce. And I just thought, you know what? I don't know how. This is a long time before we had YouTube and you can learn how to cook online. We didn't even have the freaking internet, I don't think, right? So I just remember, I don't really remember, but I can just envision. I know, I do remember going and buying sauces. So there used to be a Hunt's canned tomato sauce, or not tomato sauce, but a Hunt's canned spaghetti sauce that says no sugar added. And I would eat that stuff like it was, I don't know where I'm at. I should have turned on that road right there. But anyway, I would eat that spaghetti sauce and then doctor it up, you know, because it was just plain. It was almost like tomato sauce, right? But it was spaghetti sauce. So it had some extra ingredients in there somewhere. Where am I? So anyway, so my number one is just my homemade spaghetti, and it takes no time at all to cook. And I'm going to tell you how to cook it. So, basically, I get a couple pots going at the same time. One is a pot full of water to cook the noodles, and I don't care. I'm kind of lazy and like eating spaghetti with a spoon instead of a fork. And so I don't get spaghetti. Rarely do I get spaghetti noodles. I get macaroni or some kind of like spiral noodles or ratoni? Or macaroni. For me, macaroni is just simple. It's easy to cook, good to go. So make a big pot of macaroni, and then in a saucepan, I get 93.7 ground turkey. So I haven't bought ground beef in years. I don't think it's that healthy for me. It gives me heartburn more so than the turkey does. So here I got a $6.75 for rock and roll sushi for 3 miles. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take that just to keep working. And I purposely came down here to try to get rock and roll sushi order. I was hoping for a little bit better order, but sometimes you can't get all the big ones. So we'll take what we can get. So spaghetti. So we got the noodles, water's heating up over there on just a big pan of water. Put a little salt in there, and it's just sitting on high, okay? In the meantime, I've got roughly a pound of ground turkey. That's the 93 with 7% fat, whatever that is. So 93.7 ground turkey. You can get 99.1. You can get 93.7, or you can get like, I don't know what the next one is. Some other lower or higher fat content turkey. Anyway, so I get another skillet out to cook my sauce in, and I, in essence, cook it all in the same saucepan. So I turn it up, put a little olive oil in there, and dump in a pound of turkey, and get it ground up and browned, whatever you want to call that. It kind of turns grayish, turkey meat does. But anyway, so I brown the ground turkey, add salt and pepper to it, and then once it gets done, typically this turkey doesn't have it. You don't have to drain any fat off of it or anything, so I don't have to worry about that. At least the ones that I get. This is the downside about coming down here, is there's no parking at this time of the day, so I usually have to park around the corner. Oh, look, there's one little spot left way down at the end. So, alright, I'm gonna run in here, grab this food. We'll finish up this recipe when I get back. Thanks. Okay, so they basically had that ready. 8 minutes, 2.9 miles, so not too far away. So, all right. So back to our top 5. Number 1 is just my homemade spaghetti, and this is what drives my girlfriend bonkers, is that when I make it, I don't use any measuring cups at all. I just dump stuff in there. So I make the spaghetti. I brown the ground turkey, right? Add salt and pepper to it, and then ground it up a little bit. And other ingredients that I use here is onion powder, garlic powder. I think I quit using garlic salt because I was getting too much salt in there. But those 2 powders, I usually just go with a Italian seasoning. So I get one of these big tall ones from McCormick's that I think you can get it off of Walmart. So yeah, I just get a big McCormick's Italian seasoning. And so what I do with those things is I just kind of sprinkle it over either the ground beef, or I'll go ahead and put you can get that tomato sauce. I use Hunt's. It comes in boxes. I don't know what size they are. It's probably the consistency of like maybe 16 ounces. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's 24. I don't know what it is, to tell you the truth. But it's that box of tomato sauce. So I for whatever reason like the Hunt's. But I'm sure the other ones are just fine as well. I don't do any tomato paste. I never have. I like it to be a little bit runny, I guess. But anyway, so tomato sauce. And I will get, usually if I want it to last a little longer, I'll get 2 of the big 33 ounce, I think they're 33 ounce cans of diced tomatoes. And I like the Hunt's petite diced ones. So add all of that in there along with the meat. Then once that's in there, I don't even have to stir it up at this point, but I put the seasonings in. So I think I just use, I can tell you this, I forgot a couple of things that sometimes I do this, and usually I try to always use minced garlic. So I throw in some minced garlic while the meat is still cooking, and kind of get that sauteed down there with the meat. So that's always good as well. And sometimes when I think about it, I'll get some, they have these frozen packages of bell peppers and onions that are pre-chopped, so I'll throw those in the skillet before I do the meat, saute them really good before I, and then pour them in a bowl, and then brown the meat, and then toss those back in there. So you don't have to do that. I do it sometimes, half the time I don't. Either way, it's good with it or good without it. Okay, so the next thing is, this is how I measure my seasonings, right? So I simply do a light coating of the garlic powder and the onion powder over the top of the whatever I put in there. All the tomatoes, all the tomato sauce, and so you just kind of put a coating of those 2, and then you do the same with the green stuff, which is the Italian seasoning. Once you get a good coating of Italian seasoning on there, to me Italian seasoning doesn't smell very good, but it makes it Italian once it gets cooked down in there. And then once that gets to a little bit of a boil, turn the heat down, cover it up, cook it, let it simmer for a good 10 minutes. And then by that time, hopefully, because that shouldn't take very long, maybe about the same amount of time as it takes for the water to boil over there for the noodles. So you throw your noodles in there, you get those boiling for 7 to 9 minutes or whatever they say. You cook your spaghetti sauce for 10 minutes, and then it's good. You may stir it 2 or 3 times in there. Obviously, when you first put all those ingredients in, including the seasonings, that's all. I use those 3 seasonings, which Italian seasoning is a mixture of different things, like oregano and maybe some basil or some other things that are chopped up in there. Maybe some thyme or something. I don't know what's in there, to tell you the truth. I just know at the end of the day, it tastes like spaghetti to me. But for me, that once it's cooked, I could just eat that stuff with a spoon like it's a soup. So I don't know. To me, it tastes awesome. I really like the flavor of the tomatoes and stuff like that. I'm sure it would be better if I got better tomatoes than Hunt's, but it works for me. And probably I put a good 15 minutes into it, maybe 20 minutes max, to ground that turkey, do the other stuff. The only time I might take a little bit longer is if the frozen bell pepper and onions are too chunky, then I will chop those up a little bit more. So, you add a couple minutes here, you add a couple minutes there, but at the most, I can't see it taking more than 20 minutes and you're eating. And it is delicious, and you've got leftovers and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, to me, that's my number one thing that I like to eat of my own thing. It's not the quickest, but to me, it's the best. And it doesn't take that long either. So you're cooking it for like 15-20 minutes max. Once you get all the stuff in there and it comes to a little bit of a boil, you cook it for about 10 minutes, and all that stuff has time to get in there and cook in there, and so forth. So I do the same for chili, similar, different ingredients, but I could probably add my chili in there as well as a code number 1. But anyway, I do like these new flatbread things, and I'm gonna tell you, this spaghetti, other than the freaking noodles, is very low in calories, very low in carbs. It's got protein, all that fun stuff. There's nothing really bad for you. You can, I think I missed one turn. Did I? Yes, I did. Dang it. I don't know what I was doing. I know what I was doing. I was blabbing. Get me back on the map. So, anyway, that's my top 5 list for tonight. Easy peasy things to cook, that are somewhat healthy and quick. So let me know what you think about these in the comments. If you've got some recipes that you like to use that you do, add a link down below. I'll check them out, because I'm always looking for new things to mix it up a bit. So yeah, I would appreciate that. Alright, so here we go into this little neighborhood. It's like, hey, we've got some really tall hills, let's build a neighborhood in here. And that's what they did. My boss is emailing. Who is she sending this to? Just me. Complete an example of a TRP summary. Let me know what you think. Okay. This is the crazy thing about this stuff is where I work, they treat me like I'm a therapist, and I have no idea about treating people for mental illness. I'm the last person that you want treating anyone. I make the documents, and I've dealt with people long enough that I know the lingo, but we'll see. But I would rather they get a clinical staff's opinion about this stuff. Alright, I'm here. I'm going to deliver this food and get back out there. I'll be right back. Alright, so we got that delivered. I don't know. I didn't even look to see what the breakdown was, but it was $6.50-ish. Something like that, maybe. I'm up to $31.25 with about less than 40 minutes to go. So I need a $19 order here. That's not too much to ask for, is it? Not too much to ask for, but maybe. We'll see what we can get. Oh, this road is, I can't see around the corner, so I'm leaning up some. I do like that neighborhood. It's really like green in there. At least in the spring, all the trees are getting new leaves on it. Everything out here is really green, but it probably doesn't hurt that, I don't know if this overcast is making everything look greener. But anyway. Alright. So let's get back into town, see if we can find something else out. I did look earlier that and saw that the draft does not start until maybe 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. So it's getting close. Okay. So, I just, I don't know, I think of these things, sometimes what crosses my mind, it comes across as pretty funny, but, so part of my little deal here is I've always wanted to, I used to be a financial advisor back in the day, but it was probably before I knew anything about it and truthfully, the way I think about it today has nothing to do with where to invest your money. The main aspects of personal finance for me that I want to be able to impart my wisdom upon anyone is to just do it. So I'm going to steal from Nike. Just do it. So again, so my personal finance segment tonight is, and this is why I thought it was funny, is like, I'm just going to get on here every single episode and say the same thing about personal finance. I don't care what you do. Just do it, right? If you don't do something, then you won't take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you. And I'm going to tell you, if you're a gig driver, if you're other gig economy, if you have a real job, put money in your 401k, especially if you have an employer does a match, because that is free money. You can't go back and get free money from the past, right? You can't make up the time when you get older and you've missed all those years of putting money into the market. You can't get it back. And I'm gonna do this every single night probably, but if I think about it, is just ask I'm sorry, I keep saying Chat GPT, but I'm gonna ask Gemini, right? And I'm gonna ask them about what has the markets done, and I'll if I think about it, I'll word it, because right now everybody's crazy fearful, right? And fear is what the people that are investing, that people that have money, they make the most amount of money when everyone else is scared, right? Because they don't have to be scared, because they got so much money they don't know what to do with. But the reality is, you don't have to be scared either if you've got time. So the reality is that if you don't have time, like you're ready to retire, then you should have had your money migrating over to safer investments for the last several years. But if you're a kid, if you're a 18, 20, 30, 40-year-old, you got time. Keep socking that money away. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT a question about just a simple S&P 500, which you can get into, like SPY is a spider ETF, or you can get a Vanguard ETF. I can't remember the code, but if you go on to someplace like Robinhood, and I think I have a link to Robinhood, you can get free stock if you sign up for Robinhood using my link down below. Feel free to do that. But any which way, and Robinhood allows you to purchase these things without any additional fees. So there's no charges for purchasing and then in turn selling. Is the reason I got into it. I was looking back into it. I think my first purchases were in 2016. So I put $300 in, and I was buying like penny stocks. And whenever they would go up a few cents, I would sell them. When they'd go down, I would buy some more, and back and forth and back and forth. I never really made money on that, because some of them I made really good money, but like $10 or $12 per purchase or sale. But then sometimes the thing would just go down to where it was like it went out of business or whatever, so it was down to zero. So, I made some money that way, but if people tell you, yeah, I made all kinds of money doing that stuff, no, they didn't. But anyway, I would just encourage you to buy something solid, and if you don't have tons of money to start with, just put in a little bit on a consistent basis. So if you're a dasher, work 2 hours extra a week for your future self, and take that $10 to $25 and put it into something like SPY through a Robinhood account. Set it up on automatic draft so you don't have to mess with it. It just does it automatically, and over a time frame, you will just become oblivious to the fact that, oh, you know what, I got this $25 drafting out on my account. I will never miss it, right? You will build your budgets around that $25 because you're going to pay yourself. So I ran this chat GPT the other day where it talks about, hey, $25 per week for 40 years. So I'm typically thinking about like an 18, 20-year-old. If you do it for 40 years at just $25 a week. So that's not very much money, right? That is 5 Starbucks a week or less, right? It's a couple of sodas a day or whatever, you know. But anyway, so, and I'll run these numbers through Gemini. So all credit to Gemini here. So, hey Google, what has been the average return of the S&P 500 since its inception? What year did it start, and how many years has the stock market crashed over the time frame? Okay, in the meantime, I had to blow that up because I wasn't paying any attention, but I accepted it. It's $10.25. It looked like it was 11 miles, which will be my last delivery. I am going to put it on pause orders after delivery, and we're going to head over there to that place. So, okay, Google. This is a 3-part question. Over the history of the S&P 500, what has been the average return? When did it become a thing, the S&P 500? And over that time frame, how many times has the stock market, quote unquote, crashed?
Here are the answers to your 3-part question about the history of the S&P 500 average return. Since its inception in 1957, the average annual rate of return for the S&P 500 has been approximately 10.4% through April 2025. This is before adjusting for inflation. When adjusted for inflation, the average annual return is around 6.5%. When it became a thing, while Standard Statistics Company, one of the predecessors of S&P, began creating stock market indices in the 1920s, the S&P 500 in its current form, tracking 500 companies, was introduced on March 4th, 1957. Number of crashes. Defining a crash can be subjective, but it's generally considered a sharp decline of 20% or more in a short period. Since 1957, there have been a few significant market downturns that could be classified as crashes. 1973 to 1974 stock market crash. This period saw a significant decline due to factors like the oil crisis and the Watergate scandal. Black Monday, 1987. A sudden and dramatic single-day crash in October 1987. Dot-com bubble burst, 2000 to 2002. A prolonged decline following the bursting of the internet stock bubble. Global financial crisis, 2008-2009. A severe market downturn triggered by the collapse of the housing market. COVID-19 pandemic 2020. A sharp and rapid decline in early 2020 due to the global health crisis. It's worth noting that there have been other significant market corrections, declines of 10 to 20% during this period as well.
So, that is great information, because since 1957, there has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crashes where it's been down 20% or more, and yet the average over that whole time frame, including the crashes, has been 10.4%. That is mind-boggling. And people are like, oh, I can't get into the stock market because it crashes. You lose all your money. Well, never has anyone, if they've been diversified into the S&P 500, ever lost all their money. Because number one, their invested is diversified across 500 different companies. So you're well diversified. We've got a track history of 57 through 25. So that's 43, 53, 63, 63, 68 years, maybe, something like that. 68 years of history where we've averaged over 10%. So when I get back, I'll ask them a similar, not the similar question, but about investing $25 per week over like 40 years. So we'll get into that. I got to pick up this food. Okay, so got in there. It took probably like 5 to 7 minutes to pick that order up, and I got some dessert. So this is one of the restaurants I mentioned in my video from last night, maybe. One of the Italian places in here is Lee County called Verona. I don't know, it's a Verona Italian something. Really good, really nice people. I've always enjoyed it, so I picked up some desserts for the kids and us tonight. So I got an Italian cream, a tiramisu, a carrot cake, and a chocolate cake. So everybody ought to be able to find something in there to have for dessert, right? So anyway, that was this car does not like going fast up this hill right here. So anyway, so I was talking about earlier, so this delivery is freaking 20 minutes. I don't know where. It goes back up on the north side there, so it's closer to home anyway. So I was worried it was going to be 20 minutes and 20 minutes to get back home, so it might still be another 5 to 10 minutes to get to the house from where the drop-off is. So anyway, so what I was talking about before I went in to pick that up was some personal finance stuff. And so I recommend to anyone, and it's just going to be a common theme here, is that if I had to go do it over again, be a financial advisor, I'd probably be in the same predicament where I couldn't make the money, because my emphasis should be, and I can do that from any platform I have, is to just encourage you to invest. Find something of quality, something that's well diversified, and strategically put money back at intervals, preferably weekly or monthly, and keep doing it until you don't need to do it, until you're ready to retire, right? So there's several big benefits of doing this, right? One is you're always purchasing. So if the market does go down, you're still purchasing, and guess what you're doing? You're purchasing when those items are on sale, right? When it goes up, you're still purchasing, because you don't know when the peak is going to be. And so the reality is that if you keep purchasing and you keep purchasing, you're going to end up with more money than you've ever thought about having in your life. Obviously, if you're a trust fund baby, then you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. But if you're like me, then yeah, I wish I would have been told this when I was 18, when I was 20, 25, 30, 40 years old even. If I would have started with $25 a week when I was 40 years old, I would have a whole lot more money than I have right now, I promise you. So I'm going to run this query on here on Google AI or whatever it's called, Gemini. And so I've run this 2 or 3 times already, but I think it's very good and it gives us good information. So take a listen to this, and just it's going to get into some weeds, and I wish I could just get it to skip over all the details. And maybe I'll ask it, maybe I can tell it to do that, so we'll see. So let's try this. Okay, Google. I need to know the final result of entering in $25 per week, compounded weekly, for 40 years if we get 8% per year?
Let's calculate that for you. Here's how we can figure out the future value of your weekly contributions. Principal per period,
Gotta give me all the
P,
details.
$25. Number of periods per year, N, 52. Weekly compounding. Annual interest rate, R, 8% or 0.08. Number of years, T, 40. First, we need to find the interest rate per period. Next, we need to find the total number of periods. Since you're contributing a fixed amount regularly, we'll use the future value of an ordinary annuity formula. Now let's plug in the values. So after 40 years of contributing $25 per week and earning 8% per year compounded weekly, you would have approximately $381,677.25.
So, in a nutshell, and I'm going to throw out one more thing here. Okay, Google. Oh, I'll just push this button. What is $25 a week times times 40 years? Okay.
That's a very open-ended question. To give you a helpful answer.
Okay, Google, what is $25 per week for 40 years?
Okay, I understand what you're asking now. You want to know the total amount of money you would contribute if you saved $25 per week for 40 years, without considering any interest or compounding. Here's the calculation. Weekly contribution, $25. Number of weeks in a year, 52. Number of years, 40. Total contribution equals weekly contribution, times number of weeks in a year times number of years. Total contribution equals $25 times 52 times 40. Total contribution equals $1,300 times 40. Total contribution equals $52,000. So over 40 years, you would contribute a total of $52,000. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding this? Perhaps you'd like to
Okay, so just to throw this out there, right? 52 weeks in a year, $25 a week. It's like $1,300, I think is what it is. $1,300. And 1,300 times 40 years is $52,000. Okay, so $52,000 is what you would be putting in. But if we got 8% that compounded weekly, it would have grown to $381,000 over that same 40-year period. So instead of having $52,000 at 0%, we plugged in an imaginary number at 8%. Why did I choose 8%? Well, I want to be a little bit on the safe side. Over the history of the S&P 500 since 1957 has averaged 10%. 10.4, I think it said, right? So if we're almost 2.5 points below what the S&P 500 did over the past 68 years, then hopefully we can get 8%. Even if we don't, we're going to have more than $50-something thousand because it won't be in the negative for 50 years. The most it's ever been negative in concurrent years is maybe 3 that I can think of, and we asked it earlier, and it said 2000 to 2002, I think was the 3 years maybe, and I think that's what it said, maybe. And that might have been the .com burst, maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, whatever it said earlier. But anyway, you can go down, but still it averaged over, with all of the market crashes of 20% or more, and all the ones that crashed from 10% to 20% over the past 60-something years, the S&P 500 still averaged 10.4%. So if we conservatively say 8% in the market in the S&P 500 over the next 40 years, then we can hope anyway that it holds up with that, which is far below what it's averaged in the last 68 years. Then we could turn that money into 52,000 would be equal 381,000, right? So even if you never made increases to your $25 a week, right? You put back $25 a week for your future self, and you start at 18 and you go to 58, boom. Now, the other part that I keep harping on is, where do you put that money? So there's a couple of options. One, there's maybe 3 options you could think about, right? You could put it into a standard cash account, and that you have to pay taxes on the earnings, and you'll pay taxes on the earnings when you pull it out, and if it pays any dividends on the regular over the normal life, then you will pay taxes on those dividends throughout the life. Okay, but then when you go to sell it, if it has capital gains, you'll have to you'll pay a capital gains tax. Okay, the other part is that if you do it in an IRA, okay, an individual retirement account. So instead of a cash account, or and you do it in an IRA. Well, in an IRA, you can put it in there, deduct that money that you're inserting into the IRA off of your taxes, and it works the same whether it's an IRA or a 401k. There may be some rules that say you can only there's a maximum you can put in per year into a combination of tax deferred status. So meaning that you're not going to pay taxes on it now, but you will pay taxes on it when you pull it out at a later date. So, or the third way, and for the $25, I'm going to recommend you put it in a Roth IRA. And a Roth IRA is especially beneficial because you pay no taxes on it when you take it out. So you pay taxes on it when you put it in, before you put it in, right? So if you get paid $25 from your regular employer or from a gig employment, then you still have to account for it as taxable income. But if you put in that money, you pay taxes on it when you pay the IRS, and you put that money into a Roth IRA, then it gets to grow tax free. And so at the end, when you pull out $380,000, if it hypothetically hits the 8% over that 40 years, then you put in $52,000 that you paid taxes on, right? And at a small amount per year, so you really didn't pay that much in taxes on that $25 a week or $1,300 a year. But if you were to have to pay for the taxes on the 380 minus, in a regular IRA, you would have to pay taxes on the whole amount. So you'd have to pay taxes on the whole $380,000 because you never paid taxes on any of it. If it was in a cash account, then you would have paid taxes on the money that you put in there, but there's no tax deferred or tax-free growth, so therefore you're having to also pay taxes when you sell it on the gains. So there's no benefit there, but in a Roth IRA, it is 100% tax-free when you pull that money out. So if you pull out your gains, so it's going to be roughly from 380 down to 51, it would be $320,000 roughly that you would have in gains. Then you would have to pay no taxes on that money at all. Now, your life, as opposed to Social Security, which you don't have a choice on Social Security. You have to put money in your Social Security, right? It's withdrawn out of your paycheck, and you don't have any choice about it. So Social Security, though, you can only get money out of Social Security under certain circumstances. One, you have to live to be like 62, 64, 67, or some age before you can start getting a monthly check, right? And to be able to get all the money back, the only way to get it back is that you live long enough to get that money back, right? So that's the only way you can get your money back out of Social Security. So it is what it is, but that's the rip on that, okay? If you die, there's only two ways that money gets paid back to anybody if you die and you have a kid or more than one kid under the age of 18, well, they can get a monthly check from your Social Security money up until the time that they turn 18, and then it goes away, right? Or if you were married and you've put in more money than your spouse did, so your spouse y'all both may be retired, and you pass away, and your spouse is getting like $1,500 a month, and you were getting $1,700 a month because you made more than your spouse did over all those years. Well, then your spouse can ask to get your Social Security check instead of hers, or vice versa. So at that point, your spouse would go from getting their $1,500 to getting your $1,700. So in essence, they're going to get $200 extra per month over the rest of their life. And that's the only way you get money back in Social Security. With an IRA, with a cash account, with a Roth IRA, the money is in your estate. The government does not keep it. In an IRAs, it has defined beneficiaries, so you should define who you want that money to go to. You can say you want it to all go to your church, or you want it to go to take care of your cats, or some other charity, or maybe you want it to go to your spouse, or you want it to go to your kids, and you can predefine where that money's going to go if you pass. So all that money that's in this IRA account, whether it's an IRA or even if it's an individual account, you can have a will and it will go to your kids, as opposed to Social Security, which there's chances that no one will get that money. If you're not married and you don't have kids that are under 18, then the money's just gone. There's no accounting for it whatsoever. So it's kind of a nice thing to be able to say, if you want to leave a legacy, build up your Roth IRA or your individual retirement account or savings outside of a 401k, and you will have money that gets passed on to your heirs, instead of just getting lost in the bureaucracy of the United States government. So anyway, a simple $25 a week, 1 to 2 hours of DoorDashing extra over what you already do will get you $25, and then dump it right into a Roth IRA at some low-cost firm. And I use Robinhood. I don't care who you use. The reality is not the where, it's the fact that you do it, right? So if I was a financial advisor today, I wouldn't make any money, because I am still, I'm all about, let's get people making good financial decisions and not freaking out when the market goes down. And if you're young, yes, I will gladly help you. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not licensed to sell stocks or bonds or mutual funds or any annuities or anything like that anymore. I used to be, but I gave it up when I couldn't make money at it. When I went in debt so much that I had to quit and get a real job. So if gig work was available back then, I might still be doing it. So I would be doing this to supplement the money that I wasn't making doing financial advice, until I could have got to a point when I actually made the money. Because I really liked that job. I enjoyed it. And I just couldn't get to the point where I was making enough money to support myself and my family at that time. So I had to quit and get a real job. So it kind of stinks in that regard. But granted, that was, it wasn't 20 years ago when I quit doing that, but it's getting close. 18 years. It was 2007 when I quit. So yeah. But I really enjoy doing that stuff because I like the numbers. I like the, I can come up with the story, hopefully, that tells people or puts a little emphasis on, what the benefits of doing certain things are. But for me, I felt as though I was, I couldn't make enough money at the time to support my family, so I had to get out and do something where I got a paycheck every week. So, and I am a little jaded on those type of industries where, especially for stock brokers, the reality with that is I'm a firm believer that they're glorified salespeople. That's all they really are. They know how to manage expectations and talk people off of a cliff. But at the end of the day, they're just a salesperson. That's how they make their living. So, all right, I'm going to go deliver this food, and I will be right back to wrap things up today. Okay, so that concludes our financial, personal finance talk for the day. This seems to be the same thing I harp on all the time, is start or just do it. So I highly encourage anyone to just do it. If you ever want to talk more about that, just shoot me a comment. I will see it, and we'll figure something out. But kids are on the way to the house. So this last delivery was $5.25 for DoorDash pay and $5 tip for $10.25. I am going to hit end dash, and it skips over the total for the day, so I'm going to go to earnings. I knew it was going to be short, but $41.50 for 3 hours and 8 minutes, not counting the trip home. I may have to use GPS to get out of this neighborhood. I don't even... Yeah, I don't like this neighborhood. Alright, I'm gonna have to figure that out, so just bear with me. I am totally lost up in here. Start. So turn here. And pull. So yeah, 308, 6 deliveries. $41.25. So considerably less than $10 per order, because $9 or $8.50 less than my goal of $50. And I'm sure the mileage to $1 per mile is probably not anywhere close to what I would like it to be, because there was seemingly some upside down orders in there as far as less than $1 per mile. So, but you know what? We got out here, we did it, we talked the talk, and then we're gonna just keep walking the walk, or whatever that means. But so yeah. I do like running those numbers on chat or on Gemini to say, hey, what's 40 years of putting $25 in per week? I really believe that's realistic for people. If you're older and you want to stop at the age of 60, then just put in however many years you have till 60, and just say, hey, Gemini, I want to put in $25 a week. And I'm sure you can ask Gemini the opposite. It's like, hey, Gemini, how much money do I have to put in every week until whatever the year would be? You could say, how much money do I have to put in weekly over the next 25 years for me to get $400,000. Here, I'll try that. Just goofing around. So, okay, I know how to get home from here. Okay, Google. How much money would I have to invest weekly over the next 20 years if I wanted $400,000 and I got 8% compounded weekly?
To calculate the weekly investment needed to reach $400,000 in 20 years with an 8% annual interest rate compounded weekly, we can use the future value of an ordinary annuity formula. An ordinary annuity is a series of equal payments made at the end of each compounding period. In this case, the payments are made weekly. The formula for the future value, FV, of an ordinary annuity is where FV equals future value of the annuity, $400,000 in this case. P equals periodic payment, the weekly investment we need to find. R equals annual interest rate, 8% or 0.08. N equals number of compounding periods per year, 52 for weekly. T equals number of years, 20. We need to rearrange this formula to solve for P. Now let's plug in the values. FV equals $400,000. R equals 0.08. N equals 52. T equals 20. First, calculate the terms inside the formula. Frac Rn equals frac 0.0852, approx 0.00153846. Nt equals 52 times 20 equals 1040. 1 plus frac Rn carry Nt equals 1 plus 0.00153846. Caret 1040, approx 1.00153846. Caret 1040, approx 4.926802. 1 plus frac Rn, caret Nt, 1 approx 4.926802 minus 1 equals 3.926802. Now substitute these values back into the formula for P. Therefore, you would need to invest approximately $156.71 weekly over the next 20 years to reach $400,000, assuming an 8% annual interest rate compounded weekly. Important considerations. Inflation. This calculation does not account for inflation. The purchasing power of $400,000 in 20 years will likely be less than it is today. Investment risk. Achieving an 8% annual return consistently over 20 years involves investment risk. The actual return on your investments may...
Can you give me just the answer to that without all the details?
You would need to invest approximately $156.71 weekly.
Boom. So it's very interesting that that I can do that instead of going to some retirement calculator or something like that on a website. It is interesting that they want to give me all the details, and I was like, I don't want the details, I just want the answer. It is a formulation, obviously. It's interesting that they show you the formulation and how you can get to it. But at the end of the day, for our purposes, I just want other people to see little things like that I see to say, oh, you know what? If I want that much money when I turn 60 or 50 or whatever, here's what it's going to take. It's going to take me to get this much interest and this much of my own money to add to that over this amount of time, then that's how I do it. So if you want to look at that in kind of back into saying, hey, I need this much money to retire, and I'm not saying 400,000 by any means is a number that's some people that's all we can do, right? But I'm thinking if you had 20 years, now granted $156 a week, that's probably in gig work like DoorDash for me anyway. $156 a week is like 9 hours, roughly 9 hours a week. So that would be 9 hours over the money that I have to make a living. If I wanted to do extra to fund my future, to get me to the number I want to be long term. And with investments, it's always, it could very well be that, say that you might have hit it good up until like the year before, and you could have been like up to $500,000, but then we had a 20% market decline in the year that you were going to start using that money, and it dropped to $400,000. You know, so those are the kind of things that you have to worry about. The closer you get to needing to use that money, the more you want to start backing off and moving that money into a stable where it doesn't go with the peaks and valleys, that it does slow rise or slow down. It doesn't do, all the highs and lows of a stock market at that point. So, I feel like the more you do it and the more research you put into things like that, you'll be able to find things that are a little bit more stable. You can start finding things that take the growth potential away and start putting into things that will pay you more income, because you're going to go from working to where you're working for income to where you can take that money and turn it into passive income where you're not working for the income. But your money pays you money as extra money to live off of. So, anyway, all that to be said is just start something. Even if it's $10 a week, $25 a week, just start something and make it part of your regular budget. Don't give up if you get scared. Just keep forcing yourself to buy in and buy in and buy in, because we can look at history and see that it's gone down. It's gone down before, and it always came back stronger. So the people who didn't chicken out and jump ship are the people that made more money. So just keep that in mind. Alright, I'm going to end this session today. Thanks everybody for sticking around to the end. Be sure to hit the like button. Let the algorithm know that I'm a worthy cause here for other people to see my stuff. So I appreciate that. Hope everyone has a great night. I will catch you another time. Bye-bye.